Y'all, I really have some awesome neighbors. They're always letting me know where the local estate sales are or just bringing me pieces they don't want anymore. And that's how I ended up with this thing. So crusty on the outside, but look at that beautiful cedar interior. I did warn you it was crusty. This thing was screaming lead-based paint to me, but like they say, stay positive, test negative. And this thing was going to take all my positive energy because this is in absolute tatters. Just for fun, I decided to strip the top and just see what kind of wood was underneath here. This stuff was so thick, I had to put plastic wrap over the paint stripper and just let it like chew away at that old paint overnight. Once I started scraping and scrubbing it off though, I found my favorite, beautiful brown walnut. And being a sucker for anything walnut, at this point I decided just to make this a passion project. So we're going to fully strip and restore this thing. But don't go calling me a saint for not painting it just yet, because this paint was in such bad shape, I think it would have needed to be completely stripped anyway, just for the new paint to have any chance of holding on. I won't bore you with stripping the rest of it, just know it was boring, tedious, and I was very brave and very smart to do it and deserved a sweet treat. So with 99% of that paint gone, I could finally start sanding using a flexible interface pad on my sander to get some of those curves. With everything stripped and sanded though, I still hadn't done the hardest part, tackling that busted top. I used a box cutter to cut out the damaged sections. Making cuts either at an angle or along the grain just helps it disguise the patch better. I traced it onto some painter's tape before putting it on my new veneer so I could cut an exact match before ironing it into place. After like 4 or 5 of these patches, I used my veneer trimmer to cut them flush. Little difference in the shade between new and 70-year-old veneer, but we'll fix that in a bit. A piece of this foot was broken off, but it kind of looked like a design, so I just cut the other side to match and sanded them even. Some last minute sanding, and it was finally time to stain. I wanted to keep the burled walnut panel visually distinct from the rest of the chest, so I used some de-wax shellac to give it a depth for that incredible figuring. For the rest, I used a walnut gel stain because that'll help mask the blotchiness on the lid, plus it'll help blend in the base, which is some other kind of hardwood. You can already see here what a difference that made to the top. After staining everything else, I finally felt like all that work was getting me somewhere. My vision was starting to like appear out of that monstrous white paint. Next, in order to fill in those small gaps between the veneer patches and the original wood, I used a walnut fill stick before blending everything together with toner. Last steps were to spray some lacquer and reinstall the latch. And before the final reveal, let's revisit the before. And here's the after. I won't say after all the hours I put into this thing that I'm going to make any money on this, but I also won't say I didn't enjoy the process. Okay, no more white paint jump scares, just beautiful walnut goodness from here. So y'all be good. I'll be seeing y'all real soon.